So you're in escrow. Now what? These are common steps after an accepted purchase agreement for a probate or trust property. Once you have an accepted offer on a property that's in probate or a trust, you'll be told that escrow has been opened. So what is escrow? Escrow is a neutral party, and they'll handle any of the transfer of money, documentation, and any instructions related to the transaction. There is also title, or your title company, and they will make sure that a clean title is handed to the buyers. So this could be, let's say there was some construction done on a home several years ago, and the construction workers were never properly paid. They might place a lien on the property so that if the property is ever sold, they get their money. This doesn't happen too often, but it's been known to happen on occasion. There may also be a solar lease or a lien attached to solar, or potentially the person who is selling the property is not the only person on the title or not the only beneficiary of that title. So basically, title's responsibility is that there are no liens on the property and that the seller of the property has ownership rights to that property. Another piece is the contingencies. There are 3 primary contingencies: the inspection, the appraisal, and the loan. The inspection contingency means that the person who is purchasing the property will have an inspector come in, look over the property. You'll receive typically a request for repairs, and that is then negotiated. Once negotiations have been completed on that, that inspection is typically removed in writing. For appraisal, the lender or mortgage company will have an appraiser come out. That appraiser will take a look at the property and say the property is worth this amount or the property is worth that amount. If the amount of money that the property is worth on the home falls within the amount that the buyers are purchasing the home for, then appraisal contingencies will be removed. If, for example, there is a shortfall in the offer from the buyers or an appraisal gap, the buyers either have to cover that expense, or typically a sale will have an issue and we will have to reassess what the buyers are purchasing the home for. The final contingency is the loan contingency, and that is just for the lender to verify that the buyers have the ability or the credit worthiness to purchase the home. Sometimes, very rarely, a buyer may lose a job or lose standing in a position that they're in for their job, and if that happens while you are in escrow, then their loan probably will not go through, and that would be a reason that a loan contingency would fall through. We very rarely see that happen, but it does occasionally happen. Our job as your certified probate real estate advisors is to ensure that these contingencies are being removed in writing with the timelines that have been decided upon at the beginning or the acceptance of the purchase. If the buyer side is not following through with removing their contingencies as planned, we will often send a notice to them to perform, and then that will help get things moving along. Another thing that will occur during the process after we have opened escrow for a probate property is that a NOPA will be sent out. A NOPA is a notice of proposed action, and we actually have another video detailing that information. You'll find it in the description box below. A notice of proposed action is sent out to all of the beneficiaries to let them know of the sale of the property with price and terms of that sale. The beneficiaries have 15 days to object to that, and in our experience, that's very, very rare. We have only seen once that a beneficiary has objected in the 20+ years that we have been in business. And with that objection, it was because of a beneficiary not understanding what the documentation was for. They actually ended up removing their objection shortly after the document was explained to them in more detail. For trust sales, there's often terms for who can sell a property in a trust, and we follow the terms of that trust whenever we're selling a property. People can put anything into a trust for the sale of a home, but oftentimes it's relatively straightforward and similar to a traditional transaction. We want you to know that there are many moving parts to the sale of a property. With probate and trust, we, as your certified probate real estate advisors, will help manage each step of the way and make sure that those steps are being followed in detail. Every transaction is different, every transaction is unique, and there are always pitfalls and stumbling blocks that occur. So with every single transaction, we ensure that we are aware of what is happening, and we will then follow through with getting contingencies removed, the NOPA sent out and returned, and any additional terms to be followed through with. We will stay in contact with the escrow officers and the title reps and ensure that all of their steps are being followed. And we will also talk to our sellers on a regular basis to let them know where we are in the transaction. I hope you found this of value. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment box below. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.